this webinar is starting. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. You know, Ricardo's now in charge of UN activities, so you might give him a call, but he's on this webinar too. I'll tell him you're going to be over there. Thank you.
Eliezer, por favor, ponga el nombre de la diputada Carla Zambelli.
No, ella tiene que cambiar su nombre de su pantalla. Doctor Zambelli, ¿puede usted cambiar su nombre, por favor?
Lo intentaré un segundito.
Congresswoman Zambelli, welcome.
Hi, Michael.
Welcome. Yes, good.
Thank you.
Congressman Burton is here too. And
I'm trying to change my name here.
Already I did it.
Click on your camera and then right finger,
Already.
it says rename.
Ya lo cambié.
Ya. Vale, gracias.
also, Carla, I'd like to introduce you to Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez from the United States. She and her sister served in Congress for many years.
Hi, Loretta. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Good morning.
It's great to see you, woman.
Well, definitely, I think Dr. has always tries to get women involved. So I'm really pleased about that.
Yes. Nice to see you, then, Martin.
We need to fix Dr. Carlos' last name.
Can you hear me all right?
Bem-vinda, doutora Carla.
Ricardo.
Prazer. Tem que praticar meu português.
Tá muito bom.
Minha esposa é mineira, tem que falar pouco. Bem-vinda, de todo o coração.
Gracias.
Congressman Dan Burton, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us also.
Can we help Congresswoman Zambelli fix her name? Her last name is not spelled the way we have it in the program. Mario, can you help? Anybody help Congressman Carla?
I did.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, great.
Larry,
Thank you.
We will start in 2
Great.
minutes, okay?
Okay.
This is being recorded on YouTube. It'll be wonderful.
Hey, Larry,
Yes,
we will start in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Hi, Sammy. Okay.
Good morning.
Everybody, Dan, can you please speak so we can see if your sound is coming through? Congressman Burton, are you able to hear us? I
Congressman Burton, can you speak?
am trying to speak.
Yeah, we can. Oh,
His sound is not good.
I hear you.
But just keep saying something, Congressman, so we can. Well, it's nice to see everybody, and hopefully. Okay.
good. Larry, we can use the telephone as a backup.
Yeah, we may have to use a telephone as a backup. Congressman, you're going in and out.
Dan Burton's sound is a little poor and broken.
Thank you.
Put him on your speakerphone, but don't take him off the camera.
Okay. So when Congressman Burton, Samuel, When Congressman Breton speaks, let's just
Eliezer, I think we can start anytime with
Yes,
the video.
yes.
Because we have
Good morning,
and I'll hold it to the
Thank you.
microphone. So we'll also
honorables,
have that.
ladies and gentlemen. We'll start this Zoom conference. Larry,
Yeah, just set the phone near him. I'll take care of it in here. I just set the phone near
Larry, we can start now,
Congressman
please.
Burton, so.
Yes, Eliezer, you can start now. Larry, you should mute.
Larry. Well, Larry is the radio.
We can start, Eliezer. Go ahead. With the video.
I'm sorry, la congresista Betty is now in one convocation from the Bolivian Congress. So exactly in this moment, she cannot enter, but she will come with us later, okay?
Okay, very good.
Larry, go ahead, please.
I'm sorry, the video starts
Larry.
first, doesn't it? And then I
No,
speak?
that's the video.
No,
That's
no,
the video.
just you can start now.
We don't have a video showing.
That-
We
that-
have the intro slide.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right,
Go ahead.
I'll start. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I'm Larry Moffat, Secretary General of North America for Universal Peace Federation. This event today is global and it's being carried worldwide. We welcome all participants, distinguished parliamentarians, and leaders of clergy, media, business, academia throughout the North, Central, and South American nations, and also to our colleagues in Europe, Africa, and Asia. Universal Peace Federation, or UPF, is an NGO in general consultative status with the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for participating in this commemoration of the United Nations International Day of Peace. This year, 2023, marks the halfway point in the attempt to implement the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. There are 17 of these goals, each pertaining to advancing the well-being of the human condition, with the intention of bringing us closer to having more peaceful, just, and inclusive societies, free from hunger, disease, pollution, fear, and violence. These SDGs are conditions necessary for peace to exist, freedom from these issues that plague us. Many of our panelists today work closely with the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace as well, which is one of the peace-building projects of UPF, founded by Reverend and Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. It is my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Charles Young, who is chairman of UPF International and concurrently chairman of UPF Korea. Previously, he served as the regional chairman of UPF Central America and the Caribbean. Dr. Young has held many important positions and responsibilities as a trusted and lifelong adherent to UPF's founders, including as president of FFWP Korea, chairman of the American Clergy Leadership Conference, which partnered with UPF in developing the Middle East Peace Initiative, which brought more than 40,000 peace advocates to the Holy Land. He has also served as the regional president of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification for North America. Dr. Young has a Doctor of Ministry from the New York Theological Seminary. He comes to us today by videotape. Welcome, Dr. Young.
No sound.
You're mute, Larry.
I'm so sorry. I kept my mute on.
Dear ambassadors for peace,
There we go.
distinguished parliamentarians, and leaders from North, Central, and South America, welcome and thank you for participating in this commemoration of the United Nations International Day of Peace. Especially, I want to thank Honorable Congressman Dan Burton, the chairman of the IAPP International, and Congresswoman Honorable Loretta Sanchez, former members of the U.S. House of Representatives. We have several great panels from Latin America. I thank you for Honorable Luis Redondo, the President of National Congress of Honduras. Thank you to Congresswoman Honorable Caria Jambelli of the National Congress of Brazil, and Honorable Pare from Trinidad and Tobago. And we have Honorable Barry Yaniquez from the Bolivia. Thank you for all speakers giving your time to participate in this important discussion.
We have no sound.
The nations of the Americas are brothers. It is fitting that we share this meaningful International Day of Peace among ourselves, within our family. Reverend Moon and Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon, who founded UPF and the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, IAPP, understood the pivotal importance of peace building of the North-South axis of this hemisphere that passes through North, Central, and South America. Each nation has a culture different from all the others, and yet, when one examines the Americas deeply, they encounter profound similarities. We have a similar Christian heritage with similar perspective and values. We all honor respect for the home and the family, and the love for all people. Even the divide of Catholic and Protestant is a gap we cross every day because our similarities are fundamental, foundational. We understand we are children of one God, and that this God is the same for each of us. I want to express my gratitude to Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon. Thank you for her vision and commitment to building a world of universal and lasting peace that has been manifested in the establishment of the IAPP. Many have testified to Dr. Moon's commitment to solving the most intractable conflicts of this world. UPF's work is rooted in a moral and spiritual vision. At its core, this vision affirms the existence of God as a divine creator, our common origin, the heavenly parent, with the will and the intention to create a world of goodness. With this mind, UPF strives to inspire one worldwide family under God, a holy community where all people live together in harmony and cooperation. In this world, the family becomes a school of love where we learn to live together in peace. Once again, thank you for taking time to participate in this commemoration of the United Nations International Day of Peace. I look forward to hearing from great panelists. Thank you, and may God bless Americas.
Thank you very much, Dr. Young. Thank you for sending that very nice video message. We also have a short video that highlights and illustrates the activities of UPF at the World Summit and the Leadership Conference. It's a very good way to get acquainted with UPF. So in the spirit of a picture being worth 1,000 words, we will show this very brief video right now.
un esfuerzo audaz por la pacificación de la península de Corea, la Federación para la Paz Universal lanzó su proyecto Think Tank 2022 a solicitud de la cofundadora de la UPF, la doctora Hak Ja-han-moon. El Think Tank 2022 ha convocado cientos de webinars y eventos internacionales para encontrar las mejores soluciones pacíficas a todos los problemas vinculados con la división coreana. En mayo de 2023, como parte de la Cumbre para la Paz, la UPF organizó el sexto Foro Think Tank 2022 junto con los diarios Washington Times de Estados Unidos y SCA&Caribbean de Corea. Representantes de Austria, Benín, Camboya, Kosovo, Corea del Sur y Estados Unidos hablaron sobre los desafíos de reunión en la península coreana, así como de su importancia vital y los beneficios mundiales al alcanzar dicha paz. La paz en Corea puede parecer elusiva, pero no podemos renunciar al sueño, dijo el Dr. Jung Jung-ho, copresidente de la cumbre. El orador principal del foro fue el Dr. Michael Pillsbury de la Fundación Heredad con sede en Washington, D.C., reconocido escritor y experto en temas relacionados con China. China es una pieza clave en el reequilibrio de Corea, dijo el Dr. Pillsbury. Así que hoy nos queda la importancia de lo que yo llamaría hacerlo China. Lo más importante, tener un plan de acción. Kim Jong-sik, presidente del Comité de Unificación del Partido Popular de Corea del Sur, dijo: la vieja manera donde Corea del Sur obtenía seguridad de los Estados Unidos y oportunidades económicas de China ha cambiado. Tenemos que idear un nuevo paradigma de seguridad y diplomacia para esta nueva era de Guerra Fría. Si llegáramos a tener la oportunidad de alcanzar esa paz, para lo que el Think Tank 2022 fue diseñado, estamos hablando de un mundo que es real y factible. Sabemos que hacer cambios hacia estas verdades fundamentales ha sido siempre lo que empuja a ir hacia adelante, y ese siempre es el camino para lograr la paz. El expresidente de Benín, Dr. Thomas Yajiboni, el expresidente de la Cámara de Representantes de Estados Unidos, Newt Gingrich, el exministro de Defensa de Austria, Dr. Werner Fasslavent, comentaron sobre la necesidad de la paz y por qué las dictaduras deben terminar tanto en Corea como en otras partes del mundo. Reunirnos aquí con la esperanza y la creencia de que el mundo por venir sea más próspero es porque estamos convencidos de que un mundo próspero se alcanza a través de la paz y la asociatividad con la gente, por la gente y para la gente. Para obtener más información sobre Think Tank 2022, visite el sitio upf.org.
Okay, thank you. That was a video of one slide here on my end, a little technical glitch, but you got the gist of it from the narration, I hope. And now I would like to introduce the Honorable Dan Burton, the global co-chairman of the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace. Prior to leading IAPP, he served for 30 years in the U.S. House of Representatives, either as chairman or ranking member of the subcommittees on Asia and Pacific, Middle East, Europe and Eurasia, Africa and Western Hemisphere, as well as chairman of the Government Reform and the Oversight Committee. Welcome, Congressman Burton.
Thank you, Larry. Very nice to be with everybody. Extremely important day today. We're all celebrating peace in the Western Hemisphere and all of the Americas. And I want to start off by thanking Dr. Hak Ja-han-moon for all of her leadership and what she's doing to promote peace, not only in Western Hemisphere and the Americas, but around the world. And I also want to say to Dr. Yan, I really appreciated your message today. You covered everything very well, and I was very impressed. Anyhow, I'd like to say to all the panelists, everybody with us today, thank you for your time and effort. We really appreciate everything you're doing. And the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace is growing around the world. We have, I think, 11,000 members around the world and in the Americas. And we're working with the UPF to make sure that the cause of peace that Mother Moon has worked so hard for all these years is achieved. And all of you are so important. And I want to thank all of you for your participation and your help. I know it takes a lot of work to do all these things, and you're really appreciated, every single one of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Congressman Burton. Thank you very much for your remarks. Now I would like to introduce the Honorable Luis Redondo Guifaro, President of the National Congress of the Republic of Honduras. He has been elected to 3 consecutive 4-year terms as a congressman beginning in 2014. He was last elected in 2022 and his term expires in 2026. He's a member of the International Training Program 3rd Cohort in Honduras, and he participates in the International Program on Media Self-Regulation in a Democratic Framework. Welcome, Deputy Redondo. Deputy Redondo, you have the floor.
¿Me escuchan? Hola.
Sí, está bien.
Buen día, estoy contento de poder compartir con ustedes hoy en un día en que nos reunimos para conmemorar el Día Internacional de la Paz, un día en que reflexionamos sobre el valor inmenso de la paz en nuestras vidas y en el mundo en general, un día en que recordamos que la paz no es simplemente la ausencia de conflictos armados, sino que también es un estado de armonía, de respeto mutuo, de cooperación entre individuos, comunidades y naciones. La paz, que también es un tesoro que a menudo damos por sentado, pero que en realidad es frágil y requiere de un esfuerzo constante para preservarla. En un mundo lleno de desafíos actualmente, de conflictos, de divisiones, debemos ser conscientes que la paz no es un regalo que se nos da automáticamente, sino que un logro que debemos de buscar activamente. En este Día Internacional de la Paz quiero aprovechar este espacio que comparto con ustedes de diferentes países, de diferentes naciones, para hacer un llamado a la acción, un llamado a que cada uno de nosotros en nuestras vidas cotidianas podamos contribuir a la construcción de un mundo más pacífico, pero ¿cómo podemos hacerlo? ¿Qué hacemos o qué podemos aportar en esto? Bueno, en primer lugar, debemos cultivar la paz dentro de nosotros mismos. Esto implica practicar la tolerancia, la empatía y la comprensión hacia los demás. Incluso cuando sus opiniones difieren de las nuestras, debemos aprender a resolver conflictos de manera pacífica y a buscar soluciones que beneficien a todas las partes involucradas. En segundo lugar, debemos promover la paz en nuestras comunidades. Esto significa fomentar la inclusión, la diversidad y la igualdad de oportunidades para todos. Debemos trabajar juntos para superar las barreras que nos dividen y construir puentes que nos unen. En tercer lugar, debemos abogar por la paz a nivel nacional, en nuestros países, en nuestras comunidades, pero también a nivel internacional. Debemos instar a nuestros líderes a buscar soluciones diplomáticas a los conflictos. En lugar de recurrir a la violencia, debemos apoyar los esfuerzos de desarme y promover el diálogo como medio para resolver disputas. Y en último lugar, pero no menos importante, debemos recordar que la paz y la justicia están intrínsecamente vinculadas. No puede haber paz duradera sin una justicia para todos. Debemos luchar contra la desigualdad, contra la discriminación, contra la injusticia en todas sus formas. Hoy, en este Día Internacional de la Paz que nosotros celebramos, que recordamos y que de manera permanente debemos de mantener nuestras agendas, recordemos que la paz es un objeto noble que todos podemos alcanzar si trabajamos juntos. No importa cuán grande o pequeño sea nuestro papel en este mundo, cada uno de nosotros puede marcar la diferencia. Cada acto de bondad, cada gesto de compasión y cada esfuerzo por resolver los conflictos que nos van acercando un paso más hacia un mundo más pacífico y justo. Así que comprometámonos hoy a ser agentes de paz en nuestras vidas y en el mundo que nos rodea. Hagamos de la paz un legado que podamos dejar a las generaciones futuras, pero juntos, construyendo un mundo mejor, un mundo en el que la paz reine de manera suprema. En este Día Internacional de la Paz, que se estableció con un propósito de fomentar la paz a nivel mundial y de concientizar a las personas sobre la necesidad de trabajar juntas para construir un mundo más armonioso, es un recordatorio de que la paz es fundamental para el progreso, la justicia y la prosperidad de todas las naciones y comunidades. En un mundo donde los conflictos y la violencia a menudo ocupan los titulares que afectan las economías de los países sin importar las latitudes o los lugares donde se llevan o se realizan estos conflictos, en este día nos llama a detenernos, a reflexionar sobre el valor intrínseco de la paz. La paz no es simplemente la ausencia de guerra, sino un estado en el que los derechos humanos son respetados, las diferencias son aceptadas y las soluciones a los problemas se buscan a través del diálogo y la cooperación. Así que nosotros celebramos este día para diferentes objetivos y nosotros los hemos marcado para promover de esta forma. Uno es promover la paz y la reconciliación. Que el Día Internacional de la Paz nos insta a perdonar, a reconciliarnos, a sanar heridas profundas causadas por conflictos pasados. La reconciliación es el paso crucial hacia la construcción de sociedades estables y armoniosas. A concientizar sobre la importancia de la paz a través de la educación y la difusión de información. Este día nos ayuda a comprender que la paz es un derecho humano fundamental y un requisito previo para el desarrollo sostenible. También en este Día Internacional de la Paz debemos buscar fomentar la resolución pacífica de conflictos, celebrando en este día y recordándonos a nosotros mismos y a nuestras naciones que debemos de buscar soluciones pacíficas a los desacuerdos y conflictos en lugar de recurrir a la violencia. También lo que a través de UPF, de que yo soy parte de los parlamentarios por la paz, de que compartimos en Corea, en Sao Paulo, y hemos compartido en diferentes escenarios, lo que hemos recibido, lo que hemos sido parte de esto, y que ahora estamos en esta reunión, en este foro virtual, hemos sido inspirados a través del programa que se realiza en fomentar la paz, que nos anima a ser grandes activos de cambio en nuestras comunidades y en el mundo. Nos desafía a tomar medidas para promover la paz y la justicia y la igualdad. En última instancia, celebramos este día porque creemos que en el mundo, en la paz, debe prevalecer sobre la violencia, la tolerancia sobre la intolerancia, la comprensión sobre la ignorancia. Reconocemos que la paz es un objeto compartido que todos debemos esforzarnos por alcanzar sin importar nuestra nacionalidad, religión o cultura. Hoy, en este Día Internacional de la Paz, reafirmamos nuestro compromiso con la construcción de un mundo más pacífico y justo. Tomemos medidas concretas para promover la paz en nuestras vidas y en nuestras comunidades. Recordemos que juntos tenemos el poder de hacer que el mundo pueda ser un lugar mejor si estamos unidos, y esto beneficia a las generaciones presentes y futuras. Recordemos también que en Juan 14:16, el Señor Jesucristo nos dijo: la paz os dejo, la paz os doy. Esto nos enseña a sentir la paz en cualquier circunstancia, a buscar la paz en cualquier circunstancia. Esta enseñanza de fe ha forjado en lo personal mi vida y los invito a que la podamos tomar todos nosotros. Así que muchas gracias y que este Día Internacional de la Paz nos inspire a trabajar juntos en busca de un mundo más pacífico y equitativo.
Thank you very much, Deputy Redondo, for your remarks. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful you were able to be on our show today. I saw yesterday that you were able to make it, and thank you very much. I am honored now to present the Honorable Loretta Sanchez. She is a member of the House of Representatives for 20 years, a Democrat from California. She served in Congress on the Armed Forces Committee and the Committee on Homeland Security. She served as ranking member of the Subcommittee on Strategic Forces, served on the Subcommittee on Emerging Threats and Capabilities, and also in Homeland Security. She served on the subcommittees on border and maritime security. So she's been very much involved in that sphere and also on counterterrorism and intelligence. She's also a member of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and she joins us early in the morning from the West Coast. Welcome, Congresswoman Sanchez.
Thank you, and good morning, Larry, and good morning to everybody. I want to begin by thanking Dr. Moon and everybody at UPF really for the work that they have done and continue to do. And I hope we'll put even more force behind peace around the world. And one of the ways, of course, to do it is with my good colleague, Dr. Burton, who is the co-chair heading up the whole peace parliamentarian effort. So thank you, Dr. Burton. Thank you to UPF. Thank you in particular to Dr. Moon. You know, when I was a young woman, a young girl actually, at 14 years old, I won a national speech contest doing a poem that was entitled "And So Today," and it is by Carl Sandburg. And it's about war, and it's about meaning and peace. And I remember starting that poem by saying, you know, I'm only 14, and yet all of my life there have been wars. And that scares me, because what if when I die, there are still wars on the earth? And then I would have never known what peace really means. And as we look today and the conflicts that we see around the world, I wonder, how do we get there? How do we get to real peace? And I believe it's through the work that we do all together, that it begins with each and every one of us. The speaker who just was before me talked about God telling us about an inner peace, God telling us about working with each other and showing peace to each other. And I think that that's really the way it begins. But it also begins by understanding who we are in the world and what we have to offer and how hard we have to work towards finding peace. As a daughter of dos Mexicanos, two Mexicans who came to the United States looking for a better life, I am part of an America, a United States of America, that now almost is about 20% of all our population in the US. Over 1 out of every 5 Americans has incredibly close ties. I'm not talking about I'm African American and therefore I care about Africa. I'm talking about I'm Mexican American and my aunts and my uncles and my cousins are in Mexico. I'm talking about people who come from Central America and their families are in Central America. People who are coming from Venezuela and Colombia, Argentina and other places, and their families are still in those countries. We have such a woven existence with people south of the United States. And so I really believe that one of the ways in which we find peace and we work towards peace is not just about armed conflicts and how we stop that. I mean, I was on the military committee and on the Homeland Security Committee for 20 years in the Congress. We would fund a Plan Merida. We would fund Plan Colombia. But that's what we would do as the United States. We really didn't take the time to understand that economic well-being really brings about peace in these countries. And so I believe that it's time for us to work twice as hard, in particular to get the United States Congress, now with 50 members of the Hispanic caucus, to understand the importance of our neighbors to the south, to invest in our neighbors to the south, to hear and listen what our neighbors to the south have to say about how to solve issues so that they can have economic prosperity. Because I believe if we have economic prosperity, then a lot of these wars and conflicts go away. And so I pledge today, on the Day of International Peace, that I will work that much harder at achieving the goal that I saw when I was 14 years old, that peace really can happen in this world, and that each and every one of us must be a participant. So thank you again to all of you on this conference today. And I stand next to you and pledge to work with you towards the peace that we need. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman Sanchez. Thank you for your warm and personal comments about your life in public service. And now it gives me great pleasure to welcome the Honorable Dr. Carla Zambelli, a member of the Chamber of Deputies, the National Legislature of Brazil. Congresswoman Zambelli is a Brazilian conservative activist and political figure in her country. She is founder of the movement called On the Streets, and her signature platform is fighting corruption through the 3 pillars of less state, more justice, and real education. Welcome, Congresswoman Zambelli.
Hola, Larry. Hola a todos que están aquí. Muy buenos días. Es un placer participar una vez más de un evento de UPF. Quiero también agradecer a la señora Haksha Hamun por todo el trabajo por la paz que hace en todo el mundo, por los miembros de aquí de Brasil, de UPF, que siempre me han recibido con mucho cariño. La verdad es que cuando hablamos de paz en el Día Internacional de la Paz, me acuerdo de muchas cosas que están aconteciendo aquí en Latinoamérica, no solamente en Brasil, pero en Latinoamérica, y ahora Loretta me ha dicho, ¿no?, que tenemos que ayudar al sur, porque, y yo digo por qué. Aquí en el sur tenemos las tasas más altas de asesinatos. La 60% de las ciudades más violentas están en América Latina. Nosotros somos los más grandes exportadores de cocaína del mundo, que no son consumidas aquí, son consumidas en otros países. Así que lo creamos aquí y lo exportamos para países que también quieren la paz y que necesitan menos drogas, porque en verdad las drogas es un paso para tener más homicidios, más asesinatos y más peleas dentro de la familia. Y la paz, en verdad, se inicia por la familia. La unidad de la familia es la unidad donde tenemos que cuidar para tener paz en primer lugar. Luego nuestro barrio, luego nuestra ciudad y después nuestros estados, países. Luchamos aquí mucho en Brasil ahora porque tenemos un cambio de gobierno. El gobierno pasado ha logrado, por ejemplo, en 4 años de gobierno hemos tenido una baja de 10,000 asesinatos por año. Eran 10,000, no, 20,000, perdóname. Hemos tenido casi 60,000 asesinatos por año, un año nuestro presidente, y en 4 años logramos bajar 20,000 asesinatos por año. Todavía es muy grande, todavía tenemos más de 40,000 asesinatos por año, pero la violencia ya ha aumentado después de que Lula se ha tronado nuestro presidente. Esto porque ellos tenían una agenda muy fuerte comunista. Y, por ejemplo, nuestro presidente Lula ya ha traído Maduro y otros dictadores a nuestro país. Cuando hablamos, por ejemplo, de Venezuela, podemos lembrar que un año antes de que Chávez estuvo en el poder, la tasa de asesinatos por cada 100,000 habitantes era de 19. Un año antes de morir, en 2012, la tasa de asesinatos ha subido muchísimo para 55 asesinatos a cada 100,000 personas. O sea que esto es la más grande prueba que el comunismo genera asesinatos, genera injusticia, genera violencia y es en contra de la paz. Otra cosa que tenemos que tener en cuenta es que la paz nace y se inicia en la vida en el vientre de la mujer. Tenemos que respetar la vida desde su concepción. Aquí en Brasil estamos muy preocupados porque no solamente el gobierno, el nuevo gobierno del Partido de los Trabajadores quieren poner el aborto como algo legal, legalizar el aborto, pero también la Suprema Corte está legislando en nuestro lugar, en el lugar de los congresistas, para ampliar el tema del aborto. Entonces, aquí estamos muy preocupados con no solamente el gobierno que viene para intentar legalizar las drogas, como también la Suprema Corte que está intentando legalizar el aborto. Aquí en Brasil el aborto es prohibido, o sea que están realmente intentando cambiar una ley, pero no en el Congreso, sino que en la Suprema Corte. Aquí también tenemos que dejar una atención muy grande para el tráfico de niños. He asistido ayer, antes de ayer, la película Sound of Freedom. En esta película se muestra que en Latinoamérica el tráfico de niños para fines sexuales es muy grande, muy grande. Hoy en el mundo hay más niños esclavizados, principalmente para temas sexuales, de que en todo el mundo, cuando la esclavitud era una cosa legal. O sea que tenemos una cosa muy importante en nuestras manos que tratar. La corrupción también es una preocupación muy grande mía. Como dijo nuestro Berry, como dijo Berry, mi plataforma siempre fue en contra de la corrupción. Aquí en Brasil hemos tenido la más grande operación de corrupción de todo el mundo. Han sido devueltos a los cofres públicos casi 40 billones de reais que han sido retirados de las empresas públicas aquí en Brasil. Y la Suprema Corte actualmente simplemente ha cancelado toda la operación Lava Jato. Esa operación Lava Jato ha sido una de las más importantes para que las personas aquí en Brasil pudieran ver por qué aquí no tenemos prosperidad económica, como dijo Loretta. Es la primera cosa que tenemos que tener, prosperidad económica, para poder todas las personas no pasar en hambre y tener en condiciones de inserir en el mercado de trabajo. Así que Brasil hoy llora mucho porque hemos dado pasos atrás y nuestro presidente realmente quiere implantar el comunismo aquí. Y Brasil es un país muy importante, principalmente para exportación de comida, exportación de inteligencia también. Y tenemos la floresta más grande del mundo, tenemos el agua dulce más grande del mundo, los ríos. Y Brasil es un país muy importante para todo el mundo. Pero ahora estamos pasando por un momento muy terrible, donde principalmente la prensa libre ha sido censurada. Los congresistas están siendo censurados. Así que me gustaría mucho pedir más una vez que los congresistas de fuera de Brasil supieran lo que está haciendo aquí, lo que está ocurriendo aquí, y podamos unirnos para que nuestro país y nuestra Latinoamérica sea más libre. Cuenten con nosotros por todo. Y es un placer estar aquí, aunque nuestra preocupación es muy grande todavía aquí en Brasil. Es un placer muy grande estar aquí en este evento de UPF. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zambelli. Thank you very much for your remarks. Now we would like to hear from the Honorable Rushton Vijay Pare, a member of the Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Congressman Vijay Pare is an entrepreneur and in public service. His participation in numerous conferences around the world brings a global perspective to local governance. Global issues such as peace on the Korean Peninsula, transnational organized crime, and climate change are lenses through which he views potential local impact. Congressman Vijay Pare will join us by video today, so please roll that video.
Honorable members of the Universal Peace Federation, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Rushton Parry, Member of Parliament of the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. As we congregate under the guiding principles of both the United Nations International Day of Peace and the Universal Peace Federation, we are reminded of the profound weight that the tenet of peace carries in our global narrative. The mission of the UPF, deeply rooted in the realization of world peace through interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal values, resonates with our deliberations today. Let us explore areas that illuminate the importance of world peace, harmonizing with our collective ethos. In a world where peace reigns supreme, resources find their rightful use in avenues of growth, education, and healthcare, rather than being lost to conflict management. This vision of peace aligns perfectly with our shared dream of a world where prosperity and a collective triumph, where nations bond and collaborate to elevate each other. It's within this harmonious framework that investments thrive, paving paths of shared growth and progress. In essence, the UPF lies in its emphasis on global interdependence, a principle fortified by peace. The challenges of our world faces are not isolated. They demand unified global solutions. In a landscape of peace and trust, nations form synergies, constructing dialogues and partnerships that tackle shared challenges head-on. Through the spirit of interdependence, we sculpt a future marked by collective action and resolution. In the current digital renaissance, peace offers the stability required for groundbreaking innovation. Peaceful societies become the bedrock for research, innovation, and the seamless exchange of knowledge. This progress, in turn, mirrors the UPF's vision of an interconnected global human family. With technological advancements in such a nurturing environment, we bridge cultural and geographical divides, weaving a tapestry of united global communities. At the heart of peace lies a celebration of global culture, where diversity isn't just accepted, but revered. This ethos aligns with the UPF's mission, which emphasizes a world built on understanding, respect, and shared human value. Societies that prioritize peace are living embodiments of the Universal Peace Federation's dream, a world rooted in love, understanding, and the collective values that define humanity. Our endeavors today will dictate the world we leave behind for future generations. The UPF's emphasis on family as the seedbed of peace converges with our hope for a harmonious world. By prioritizing peace in the present, we gift our progeny a legacy enriched with universal values, respect, and a world where peace isn't mere an aspiration, but a living reality. In closing, as we reflect on the International Day of Peace and the cherished values of the Universal Peace Federation, let us renew our commitment. Let the rhythm of peace guide our actions, echoing our collective dream of a world bound by interdependence, prosperity, and universal values. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you very much.
Of the Universal Peace Federation.
Thank you very much, Congressman Vijay Paray. Now, we would like to present Dr. Michael Jenkins, who is president of Universal Peace Federation International. He is also president of the nonprofit Washington Times Foundation, as well as being chairman of the Washington Times Holdings, the company that owns the Washington Times organization. He has a decades-long involvement in organizing peace initiatives in Korea, Japan, the Middle East, in Ramallah and the Gaza Strip, as well as Jerusalem, Lebanon, and Jordan, all around the world. He was having a bit of an issue with his video, so he's going to join us by phone right now. So welcome, Dr. Jenkins.
Thank you, Secretary General Moffett, and thank you to all the distinguished participants of today's program. I particularly want to thank Honorable Carla Zambelli and Honorable Redondo, and especially Honorable Rushton Vijay Paray, Congressman Sanchez, a good friend of mine in U.S. Congress, and our IAPP co-chairman globally, Honorable Dan Burton. And I know that Honorable Betty Yannicke will join us shortly, but thank you to everybody for this wonderful effort on this International Day of Peace, in which we are bringing together the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, founded by Father and Mother Moon and founded by the Universal Peace Federation. So we're honored to share this time with you. Our main concern is how to increase cooperation among parliamentarians within Latin America and the Caribbean together with the United States and Canada. That's our main focus. And also Congressman Burton is a person that over 30 years in Congress and also chaired the Western Hemisphere Committee. Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, she and her sister were the only two sisters that together served in Congress in the history of the United States. They were both congresswomen from different parts of our different districts. I want to thank Dr. Samuel Faraboli from Brazil and also Dr. Ricardo Decena. They are our chairman of South America, Dr. Faraboli, and Dr. Decena, chairman of Central America and the Caribbean. I'm very honored to be with you today. I love this dialogue and this expression. But again, our purpose is to increase the cooperation of parliamentarians together to help one another. You know, the United States in trade with Latin America and the Caribbean last year was $1.136 trillion, amazing amount. And the import of goods was about $680 billion, and the export of goods was the balance of the 1.136 trillion. It's an amazing economic area. But we in the United States are working on Congress directly to see the more central role of the relationship of the United States, Canada, and also Latin America and the Caribbean. The United States has not paid enough attention to that wonderful relationship. We share a similar faith history in terms of the Roman Catholic Church and the Protestant churches and other faith communities, but we share a common ground that's unique to the world because the whole of Latin America, the Caribbean, and the United States has a very strong percentage of people that believe in God. And that's one of Mother Moon's main statements in the UPF, is that the only way we're going to attain peace is when we honor God. when we really honor God, we also honor one another. We respect all faiths. They all are from God. And we believe that when we really understand the very central role of parliamentarians, then we can also work together to find solutions to problems. Like Honorable Zambelli was telling us, there's a need for more attention to bring balance and solutions to her nation in Brazil. We want to bring peace and we want to bring understanding, but we also need to bring prosperity and also engagement of friendship and action together, increasing also our security, peace, and economic development, and the sharing of technology is so important. We believe that a revolution is possible in terms of economic revolution and prosperity through the increase of education with technology. Technology is allowing things to open up in a way that was never possible before. That's why suddenly somebody who really has the kind of expertise in the area of technology and IT can develop something that can completely change the dynamic of the economy, as we've seen with the different kinds of programs that are on the internet, like Amazon.com and those kind of things. All over South and Central America, there are exploding many economies going on. So we want to foster that. We want to understand that. But as parliamentarians, what Congressman Burton always emphasizes, that more than any other elected officials, you represent the people. You are really in touch with your own constituents. More than any other elected official, you together collectively in your nation represent the whole nation. Now, of course, the president or the prime minister, they represent the nation also, but they're not directly relating with the districts and what's really going on in the local area. And that's why we want to emphasize the one thing that I think we can cooperate together on is to protect religious freedom and also really emphasize the role of the family. The family is the most central pillar of every community. One of the most beautiful things we see with the almost 70 million people in America who have relatives or descended from relatives in South and Central America and Caribbean. One of the most beautiful things is, as Loretta will tell you, they bring family values. They bring such a strong base of family values in the communities throughout America. It's amazing. And it probably will cross 100 million probably in the next 5 years or 10 years. It's growing so fast. So that's a blessing to America. That's a blessing to the world. So we want to cooperate together on family values. How do we work together to strengthen the family? What laws can we make that help mothers and fathers stay together and also help the community and help the family support one another? The aspect of peace that we learned in the Middle East, and we were learning in many Washington Times fact finders we did to Korea, was that if we engage, we can open doors. We can open doors. We always want to engage. So one thing that our founder did was they wanted to meet Kim Il-sung, the person who actually put Reverend Moon in prison. They wanted to meet him and engage him because they saw a way to bring about peace. But without dialogue and understanding, there will be no peace. So there has to be engagement. So they went to North Korea, risking their lives, and they prepared for it very well because the Washington Times in Washington has enormous influence in this nation. That also helped for the meeting with Kim Il-sung. And they met Kim Il-sung, and something happened in that meeting. That's why face-to-face meetings are so important. So we're looking forward to a conference where deputados, congressmen from the Latin America and the Caribbean can come to Washington. And I see Congressman Burton and Loretta and our delegations coming to your countries. We really want to get that exchange going. So they met Kim Il-sung and something happened. His heart opened. He passed that kind of feeling to his son, Kim Jong-il, because Reverend Moon was known and Mother Moon's known as peacemakers, but also they're known as anti-communists. And they do not support communism. But they don't hate communists. They don't support communism because it says there's no God. When you have no God, then everything's material. So that spirit, that heart passed on to Kim Jong-un, and Kim Jong-un has now invited Mother Moon to bring a UPF delegation to Pyongyang. So there is a delegation already going because we have such relations with UPF like Nepal and other countries who have diplomatic relations with North Korea. So representing Mother Moon, they've gone continuously to meet Kim Jong-un directly. And when we had the 10th anniversary of Reverend Moon's passing, Kim Jong-un sent beautiful bouquet of flowers and gave them a plaque of honor for being peacemakers. So who would imagine, that could happen? So I want to thank you all today for this great webinar. I'm so grateful for your leadership, and I hope that Honorable Betty is with us now. Thank you. I apologize for my internet being weak today, but I hope that I have been a help to this conference as the president of UPF, and may God bless you and your families. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. Thank you very much. Please stay on. We're going to do a little something here. We have a little bit of time. There's more than 500 people watching this right now. We, in our little panelists group backstage, we can't see them, but I see the countdown here. Got up to about 550 at one point. So, and questions come in, little things about from all over the place. They zip in through my personal message. They come in through my cell phone, things like that. And one question that I've been seeing at least more than once, and I want to kind of put that to everybody. So all the panelists and the UPF executives here. If Dr. Zambelli is still here, you can put your camera on. Anybody who's backstage here, Dr. DeSena and Congressman Burton. There we go. A question that came in, and the gist of it, the question could be summed up perhaps like this. In the Americas, we're not shooting at each other very much, but we don't help each other very much either. What can we do to be more affirmative in our help with each other? It's relatively peaceful here in the Americas, the Caribbean, Central America, North America, South America, relatively, but unless it's an America's Cup year. But we could be doing a lot more, I think, because peace is more than just the absence of war, as one person said.
Yes.
¿Entiendes todo?
Well, Larry.
Anybody have something to say? Dr. Burton, Congressman Burton.
Yeah, I would just say that all of the leaders who are with us today, as well as other leaders throughout Central and South America and the entire Americas, if we could work with Mother Moon, who's worked so hard for peace around the world, if we could continue to work with Dr. Haksha Han Moon to get all of these leaders together as often as possible and have us sit down and talk about the problems in the various areas face to face, and then come up with collective solutions. I don't like that word collective, but solutions that we can all agree on, and then start working toward those solutions. The solutions may have to be maybe individual in certain cases. We may all have to agree that we have to do certain things in one part of South America, one part of North America, or in Europe. But if we could get together and put the great minds that are on this program together and talk about the problems that we're all concerned about, I really believe we could come up with solutions. It's going to take some work. There's no question about that. But getting together with the great minds and the leaders that we have on today and others, I think we could come up with some solutions that will lead to peace, the world peace that Dr. Haksha Han Moon has worked so hard for. So I would just say today that getting together with a Zoom call like this is very, very helpful. It helps us to get to know each other a little bit better. But the times that we could spend directly together and come up with programs or possible solutions that we think would work, and then hammer out our differences, I think would be a great step in coming to some solutions to this problem of peace and love. It's very difficult to do because we all have so many different opinions on certain things. But with God, family, and love, and all of us working together, I think we can come up with some of these solutions. It's not going to be easy. We've been through 2 world wars, all kinds of other conflicts, that some of which are still going on right now. So the cause of peace is very elusive and very difficult to achieve. But if we get together and we work on these things, we can certainly make steps in the right direction and solve some of these problems.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Congressman Burton. That's very well said. And it underscores what Dr. Jenkins said about the importance of face-to-face meetings. Any of the others here on the screen? Anybody? Raise your hand. Yes. Dr. Zambelli.
Yo creo que lo que ha dicho el Congressman...
Un poco despacio, por favor, the interpreter.
Okay. Yo creo que lo que ha dicho Dr. Burton es muy importante, que nos encontremos cara a cara. Pero también yo creo que hay cosas que podemos hacer a la distancia. Por ejemplo, podemos juntar muchos congresistas de toda Latinoamérica que están de acuerdo con un tema, por ejemplo. Un tema que está pasando en toda Latinoamérica es el tema del tráfico de drogas, de la cocaína. O sea, tenemos que tener un plan para combatir ese tráfico de drogas. Otra cosa que también ocurre mucho en Latinoamérica es el tema del aborto. En Estados Unidos tenemos el March for Life, que es muy importante, y tenemos que intentar hacer estas marchas también en los países de Latinoamérica, para que la vida sea respetada desde su concepción. Yo creo que tenemos que coger tema por tema. Y no solamente, no hay cómo atacar todos los temas de una sola vez. Pero, por ejemplo, ahora mismo, aquí en Brasil, la Suprema Corte está discutiendo la legalización del aborto. Si tenemos cartas de varios congresistas de todo el mundo, firmadas por varios congresistas, hablando de la preocupación con Brasil en el tema del aborto, yo creo que aquí nosotros podemos poner esta carta en la prensa, y esto es una presión para que los ministros de la Suprema Corte piensen mucho lo que puede pasar con Brasil en el tema económico o de comercio si aprobamos el aborto en contradicción a lo que es el tema cristiano en todo el mundo.
Okay.
Aquí en Brasil tenemos una pesquisa de 80% de las personas que son en contra del aborto, pero tenemos que tener un apoyo internacional también. Yo creo que este apoyo es muy importante.
Okay, gracias. Thank you very much. Señor Presidente Redondo, you had your hand up. Your thoughts, please.
Sí, muchas gracias. En primer lugar, creo que UPF ha marcado a nivel mundial un camino, una ruta, un espacio donde nosotros podemos empezar a hacer diálogos, a exponer los diferentes puntos de vista de cada uno de los países, de las regiones del mundo, puntos de vista que para nosotros representarían paz desde nuestras perspectivas. Sin embargo, esta plataforma de los parlamentarios por la paz mundial de UPF, de la que hemos tenido la oportunidad de compartir, dije en mi primera intervención cuando estuve en Sao Paulo, con todos los parlamentarios por la paz de América Latina, y también cuando estuvimos en Corea, antes de que iniciara la pandemia de COVID, pude ver la acción o la inspiración hacia la acción que ha sido promovida a través de UPF, y creo que esto es un principio importante porque ya tenemos una plataforma que nos une. Es en esta misma inspiración que nosotros hemos promovido dentro de la Organización de Presidentes de los Congresos, de los Poderes Legislativos de Centroamérica, de la Cuenca del Caribe, México, y hemos promovido de que se haga una manifestación de un tema específico que nos une a todos en común. Hemos identificado a través de plataformas como esta de UPF cuál es el punto de vista que tenemos todos en común de nuestros parlamentos. Y quiero citar este ejemplo porque lo quiero trasladar acá a UPF, ya que lo hemos hecho aquí. Y es que en la región promovimos de que los poderes legislativos en una misma semana del año, todos en cada congreso nos pronunciamos a favor de que se hable el idioma español en la Corte Internacional de Justicia de La Haya, ya que los casos que se dilucidan en este espacio por los países solamente son resueltos en inglés o francés. Y estamos pidiendo a través de una manifestación que se pueda incluir como idioma oficial el español. Esta práctica ya se realizó en una invitación que nosotros hicimos en el foro de Roatán, Honduras, este mismo año, donde tuvimos la bendición de compartir con el doctor Charles Yang, el presidente de la OPF Internacional y simultáneamente presidente de la OPF de Corea, y también estuvo Mario Salinas también con nosotros compartiendo, y varios presidentes o representantes de los diferentes parlamentos. Establecimos esto y ya se hizo, ya Costa Rica a través de su asamblea se ha pronunciado, ya lo hizo Puerto Rico, ya lo hizo República Dominicana, nosotros pronto lo vamos a hacer. Y va a llegar un momento en que en este mes de septiembre todos los parlamentos de Centroamérica, de la Cuenca del Caribe, nos vamos a pronunciar en este mismo tema. Entonces, si somos capaces, de a través del diálogo, en espacios como este de UPF, de que nuestros parlamentos, que son la cosa política de cada uno de los países, nos podamos pronunciar en un tema, entonces nosotros, a través de este espacio, podemos llevar, a través de los más de 3.000 parlamentarios que UPF ha podido concentrar de todos los parlamentos del mundo, en definir en un Día Internacional como la Paz o en un día específico, que en nuestros parlamentos también simultáneamente hagamos la misma manifestación, el mismo comunicado por la paz. Ese es un principio, porque este principio nos va a permitir tener a nosotros esa misma inspiración que ha inspirado a muchísimos, a mí en lo personal, como ser embajador de la paz, miembro de UPF, para poder llevar también en otras instancias, como ya lo estamos haciendo en nuestra región, como lo vamos a hacer en nuestro país, como lo vamos a ir haciendo en otros espacios, inclusive en la vida misma, la personal, la promoción de la paz a través del diálogo y de oportunidades que se puedan identificar en conjunto. Entonces yo invito a esto, sé que esto, esta plataforma ya está, ya fuerte, sólida, y nos invita a todos a buscar este espacio para unirnos en diferentes temas, en un punto en común, y ese era el principio para que podamos fomentar la paz a nivel mundial también.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Deputy Redondo. We have the three executives who have been organizing this, these UPF executives, Mario Salinas, Simone Ferraboli, and Dr. Ricardo De Sena here. I'd like to ask one, and perhaps Dr. Ferraboli, you could weigh in here. What can we do to be more affirmative? And then just a very brief comment. I think, Betty, Yannick is not going to show. Those who are in the legislature know what it's like to be held to the whims of your committee chair and your House Speaker. We do have 120 by YouTube and holding fairly steady at 500 by Zoom. So if you would say just a few words, Dr. Ferraboli, and then I will ask Dr. Jenkins to say a couple of closing comments as the chairman of UPF Worldwide. Dr. Ferraboli, please.
Muchas gracias, Dr. Lery, and muchas gracias a todos los panelistas por sus excelentes exposiciones. Este es un día muy especial de conmemoración del Día Internacional de la Paz. Es muy importante entender que la paz contiene un elemento espiritual. La paz viene de Dios. solamente Dios puede nos conceder la paz verdadera. Y la paz depende de la comunión que nosotros vamos a tener, primero con Dios, segundo con los seres humanos creados a la imagen de Dios, tercero con la naturaleza que nos devuelve el equilibrio y cuarto con uno mismo. Así que con todos estos elementos entendemos que la paz se torna un bien común, que tenemos que perseguirla, tenemos que buscarla con todo nuestro corazón, nuestra mente, nuestra alma, nuestra determinación, porque así vamos a vivir en paz, en armonía con todos los seres humanos. Entonces, feliz Día Internacional de la Paz. Muchas gracias por su apoyo, soporte, por su presencia en esta conmemoración especial que la UPF ha hecho en este día. Dios bendiga a todos.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Faraboli. And I see from the looks on the faces of your two associates that they agree with you. You are quite a team, the three of you, in organizing this, plus all of the other people behind the scenes and our valiant simultaneous interpreters, those who have been with us in creating such a beautiful, beautiful webcast that has brought North and South together again. I love it when we are working together on some project. It's chaos behind the scenes, but oh, I just love it. I would like to ask Dr. Michael Jenkins, who is chairman of everything that UPF does worldwide and represents the host of this program. I've got him on speakerphone here, and I'd like him to say a few words of closing, and that will end our webcast. Dr. Jenkins.
Yeah, thank you, Larry. And what a wonderful forum. We're beginning a series of forums with the Latin America, the Caribbean, and North America. Thank you, Congressman Burton, our international co-chair, for your wonderful leadership. And I do want to thank everybody also for the encouragement. I think we can have a real focus between the Americas, and I do believe progress will be made and better government and better cooperation and economic development. I just saw a paper recently that Korea and Latin America are being compared, and how the Korean miracle, the miracle on the Han River, can be transferred to Latin America, because it's possible. It's very possible. The people are the hardest working people, and they have great values. We just need to have that cooperation and stability together. One final point I do want to ask your help on. It's a religious freedom issue. As parliamentarians, we would like you to join with Congressman Burton to encourage the Prime Minister of Japan to support religious freedom. Yes, there is an activity by the Socialist and the Japan Communist Party right now to call for the dissolution of the Unification Church. And the UPF is not part of the Unification Church, but with same founders. And we will be communicating with you on that. As parliamentarians, I think globally, our voice will have a tremendous impact, because through some kind of steps that are being taken to stop the Unification Church's effectiveness in stopping communism in Japan, that party, which is a party that has members in the Diet, also has put together a lawyers group that's trying to, lead people the wrong direction. We need your prayers and your help on that. As parliamentarians, I think, Dan, as you have suggested, we have 6,000 parliamentarians as members worldwide. If we collectively come together, we don't just represent, the number of parliamentarians. We represent over 125 nations. So I want to thank you again for this wonderful thing. I particularly want to thank Dr. DeSena and also Dr. Faraboli, Mario Salinas, and Eliezer. They were the ones that encouraged me. Dr. Jenkins, why don't we do more between North America and Latin America and the Caribbean? Well, you're right. We have to do much, much more, and this is a good beginning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. Thank you very much for your comments. I'm not a technical wizard, but I did manage to get your picture up on the screen when you spoke, so I'm feeling very accomplished. Gentlemen, ladies, thank you so much. We offer our highest regards and respects to all of those who participated, Dr. Charles Young, the Honorable Dan Burton, the Honorable Luis Redondo Guifaro, the Honorable Loretta Sanchez, the Honorable Dr. Carla Zambelli, the Honorable Rushton Vijay Pare, the Honorable Betty Yanniquez, who intended to come but is sidetracked by business in the legislature. We understand completely, and by Dr. Michael Jenkins. Thank you all very much. God bless you. Thank you so much. We'll see you again later. Let's do this again. Love it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you all.
God
Thank
bless
you
you
very
all.
much. Muchas gracias. Una
Gracias a
fotito,
todos.
Eliezer, puede ser, de recuerdo,
Gracias,
el
doctor
picture,
Redondo.
el foro. Doctor Redondo, excelente su presentación. Me gustaría, a ver si en la semana nos podemos conectar sobre esta iniciativa del español en la Corte de la Haya, cómo podemos ayudar como la UPF, a ver si entendemos mejor, o en mi caso, cómo poder ayudar. A ver si nos conectamos la semana que viene. Muchas gracias.
Claro que sí. Muchísimas gracias.
Obrigado, Carla Zambelli. Abraço grande.
Obrigado, excelente, deputado Brasil, la melhor do mundo.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you
Great.
so much for all of your work back there. I'm not sure where you are, but God bless you. You kept us on the air and you kept us running. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eliezer. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Mario.
Gracias, saludos a todos.
Thank you, sir.
Buen
Saludos a
trabajo, buena celebración.
la
Gracias.
República Dominicana.
Viva Honduras.
Viva Redondo. Gracias.
Viva Latinoamérica.
Gracias.
Viva las Américas.
Okay, and that's it, gentlemen. Bye, Ricardo. Good to see you, bro.
Ya, muchas gracias, Lorenzo.
Yeah, good.
You're the best. Un abrazo.
Awesome. Take care.